To call this December 8th, 2014 council meeting to order. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Coyne.
Here.
Hilberg.
Here.
Colasar.
Here.
Lamb.
Here.
Rose.
Here.
Shields.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Reading of the minutes.
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields.
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting of City Council of November 24, 2014 as prepared and submitted by the clerk be approved.
Second.
Discussion. Clerk please call the roll.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coyne.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Reports of standing committees. The Finance Committee met prior to council this evening, and we will not meet again until next year. So I hope everybody can wait. The Health, Safety, and Sanitation Committee, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing to report, and I am waiting for a response from the SPCA to schedule a meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Properties Committee, Mr. Shields.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening and no meeting scheduled.
Thank you. Streets and Sidewalks Committee, Mr. Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report tonight, nothing scheduled.
Thank you. Water and Utilities Committee, Mr. Colzar.
Thank you, Mr. President. One thing I want to make sure the public's aware, this is my water bill here, but if everybody got their December water bill, if you'll look on there that there's a water increase of 3% that's going to go into effect January of next year. If some recall, back in June, we passed for a, correct me if I'm wrong, Keith, in January we passed for an increase, and then in June an automatic increase of 5%, knowing that at the end of each year there would be an additional 3% increase. Is that right or no?
Off the top of my head, I think that's correct because we had the increase from Avon to cover.
Right. So there'll be a 3% increase to your water rates beginning in January. And also for another note, we were told within the last month that Avon Lake could possibly ask for an additional 3% in the middle of next year. So just keep that in mind. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Requests for council action. We have several for the Finance Committee. Oh, did you have a committee?
Special legislation.
Yeah, Special Legislation Committee, Mr. Lamb.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled and no meeting has been held.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the report. Sorry I missed you.
That's okay.
The request for council action, we have Finance Committee, we have 14-248 budget amendments, 14-249 increase PO for NUCO 2 MCRC, 14-250 naming 406 Broadway property for the parks, 14-251 right-of-way purchase agreement for 750 West Smith, 14-52 fiscal year 2014 fair housing agreement, 14-253 fair market value estimates for West Smith reconstruction, 14-254 discussion of Masonic Temple building, and 14-255 advance for the airport. Reports of municipal officers. Mayor Hamwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Brass Band of Western Reserve is going to hold a concert at the Performing Arts Center this coming Saturday, December 13th at 7 p.m. There is a charge of $10 for the tickets, and they're available either at the Performing Arts Center or at the website, which is www.bbwesternreserve.org. The Medina Community Band the following day, on Sunday, will hold their winter concert also at the Performing Arts Center. This is a free concert. No tickets are required. It's a concert of holiday music, and they generally try to hold it within 60 minutes so that if people need to plan for time. And I just wanted to mention that we're fortunate to have the band perform without charge, both their summer concerts as well as this winter concert, and then they also do a spring concert and our Veterans Concert. Councilman Lamb and I have been working together with some of the various landlords in the city, and we created a new tab on the city website under residents. So if you go to the City of Medina website, residents, and then landlord tenant information, what we've done is scanned a variety of brochures from the Medina County Housing Office, and the topics include landlord-tenant rights and responsibilities, housing and disabilities, repairs to rentals, fair housing, and you. And in addition to that, Councilman Lamb and I, later this month, are going to work on a cable show to talk about a variety of these issues that are covered within these brochures, just in case some people would rather hear it on the TV than read it on the website. And we hope to have that information available, if not by the end of the month, very early next year. Next, I'd like to invite up with me Gary Rumley to present a proclamation for his service to the city. Welcome, Gary. This is a City of Medina proclamation that reads, Gary Rumley is retiring from the City of Medina and is being awarded this recognition as a testimonial of his loyal and dedicated service to the city for the past 28 years. And whereas Gary's dedicated interest and devotion to duty has had a valuable effect on the efficiency and morale of his co-workers, and we wish to extend him our sincere appreciation for his outstanding performance of duty. Whereas we deeply appreciate the important contributions Gary has made to our city government and to the progress of our community. And now, therefore, I, Dennis Hanwell, Mayor of the City of Medina, to commend Gary Rumley for his many years of valuable service and express my sincere thanks on behalf of the City of Medina. And I'll just tell you that, I'll let you hold that. Working on the police department, Gary, as the street superintendent, was the one that we would call when a street light went out in the middle of the night, on a Sunday morning, on a Saturday evening. Street lights, salt needed on the roads needed plowed, and not only would Gary get the crews out there to get things taken care of and keep our city safe, but Gary was usually one of the first ones there. Sometimes he could make the repairs himself without calling out the crew. Other times he would have to, and we just value and appreciate all you did for us, Gary, all these years, and wish you the very best. And you're welcome to say anything you'd like.
I just want to thank the present, past administrations, co-workers, and so forth, and of course my family. I'm retired. Thank you. Elvis has left the building.
Congratulations. And then Mr. Van Up, if you'd come up. I'd like to introduce Mr. Murray Van Up to the community, and I have a City of Medina proclamation for the Van Up family, and it states, whereas the Van Up family has a long, rich history in Medina, from Nicholas Van Up, who was a Civil War veteran and served as the clerk of courts for Medina, to Arthur Van Up, who was elected mayor of Medina in 1899. And whereas Murray and Sue Van Up have established the Van Up Family Fund to fund giving to charities and organizations they deem important, which includes our community. And whereas the Van Ups have graciously donated $28,000 to fund a new fountain in the Bicentennial Commons, which will provide a tremendous aesthetic improvement to the downtown, as well as $2,000 for a new floor in the Engine House Museum. Now therefore, I, Dennis Hanwell, Mayor of the City of Medina, do hereby recognize the extremely generous financial contributions the Van Up family has made to this community and extend my appreciation and gratitude on behalf of the City of Medina to the family for their generosity. There you go, sir. Thank you very much. Whoops. I hid those in there. Thank you.
I just want to thank the city for the opportunity to allow my wife and I to participate in the community. Several years ago, I participated in a thing called Leadership Cleveland, and it opened my eyes to civic responsibilities. And my wife and I look forward to doing much more in the community from here on, and I hope the city keeps us in mind with future projects.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
God bless you. Okay, and as President Coyne mentioned, this is our last council meeting until 2015, so I'd just like to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Durham, Director of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. As this is the last meeting, there are a number of things from finance, including the budget and the 5-year plan, and I will address those when we get there. Other than that, I want to join with the mayor in commending Mr. Rumley on his tenure and thanking the Van Epp family, and wishing everyone a safe and happy holidays.
Thank you. Mr. Huber, Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Chief Baraducci, Police Chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report, but Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Mr. Mendel, Planning and Community Development Director.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I do have a report. I'd like to start off with on Friday, December 12th, there will be 4 ribbon cuttings for new businesses here in Medina. At 10 a.m. At 1132 North Court Street, there's Tokyo Inc., which is a new restaurant going into the shopping center where Key Bank and KFC and Comet Cleaners are. So that's a really great new addition to the North Court business community. Additionally, at 1 p.m., there's a ribbon cutting for Molly's Closet at 140 West Washington. It's a new addition to Molly's Miss Molly's Tea Shop, tea room, and Medina Fantastic Toys. So I encourage everybody to come to that one. Additionally, at 2 p.m. at 47 South Public Square, there's a ribbon cutting for Something's Popping, new food retail store on the south side of the square. And lastly, at 5 p.m., there's H2 Wine Bar ribbon cutting at 221 South Court Street. So really encourage everybody in the community to come out to these ribbon cuttings, really show support for new businesses and continuing businesses within the community. And lastly, this Thursday at 5 p.m., we're having boards and commissions, Board of Historic Preservation Board, Board of Zoning Appeals, and Planning Commission, starting at 5 p.m. in the multipurpose room here in City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Painter, Fire Chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one item. I'd like to thank the 3M company located on Lake Road for their generous donation of $7,500 to the fire department. Through an internal grant process with 3M Corporate, our local plant applied for and received a grant to make improvements within our local community. They saw fit to work with the fire department. We earmarked this purchase of a propane fire extinguisher training. Currently, we use diesel fuel and trays and actual fire extinguishers, this type of training, and it's a dirty and costly procedure. This new unit runs off of propane and a water-based extinguishers which you can use and refill and maintain ourselves. This will allow us to provide safer, cleaner, more economical extinguisher training to all of our business within the community. So we'd really like to thank 3M for that donation. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, Recreation Center Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple announcements. The Medina Rec would like to remind the community that the new winter program brochure will be available online at www.medinarec.org starting tomorrow, which is Tuesday, December 9th. Will also be inserted in the Post newspapers on Saturday, December 13th, and hard copies will be available at the Rec Center Sunday, the 14th. Our next scheduled Rec Advisory Board meeting will be Thursday, December 18th at the Rec Center at 7:30 a.m. And I also wanted to congratulate Gary Rumley on his retirement. It was great working with you, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Worley, Parks and Recreation Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. For forestry, I want to report that the fall tree planting project is complete. In total, 239 trees were installed, and we appreciate the patience of the residents through the inclement weather that delayed that project. The Parks Department has begun construction of the Sam Macy Trail connector to Champion Creek Multipurpose Trail. We'll be installing base this winter in preparation for paving the trail connector to Sam Macy in the spring. The entrance to the Coo Todd Conservation Area was completed last week by a contractor, and a sign should be installed by the first of the year in cooperation with an Eagle Scout. I wanted to extend a thank you to Murray and Sue Van Epp, because without their donation to the fountain project, it wouldn't happen, and I'm glad we could work together to make the vision a reality. And congratulations, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gladish, Building Official.
Thank you, Mr. President. The month of December is off to a very busy start for the building department for both permits and property maintenance. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Patton, City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to report within the next 2 weeks, our Wadsworth Road Waterline project will get started. We have notified all the residents in the construction zone. It'll be about a 6-week-long project. We will maintain two-way traffic throughout, but it is going to be a construction zone. The work will be right off the edge of the roadway, so there may be some slight delays during times. We appreciate everyone's patience. And I also like to join everyone. It's been my pleasure to work with Gary for a number of years. He's always great to work with, and I wish him well.
Thank you, Mr. Picoli, Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I, too, would like to wish Gary the best. I worked with Gary for the last 13 years. He's taught me a lot in the service department. He's a pleasure to work with, very meticulous. He reminded me of many things that would fall through the cracks. So, again, very committed, very dedicated. Gave up a lot of holidays, family dinners, and weekends. Now I hope you enjoy those going forward. So thank you very much. Do you want to talk about the LEAF program real quick? All right. Real quick for the public, we are going to continue to pick up leaves. It's been a tough battle this year for the service department. Actually, someone asked me if Gary, when he left, if he took the trucks with him, but the truth is, with the weather and the way they fell and how people raked everything at once, working around the elements, it's been difficult. But we are continuing as long as the weather permits, and we're hopeful as we look at the piles, there's not too many out there. But the trucks are in the northeast quadrant of the city as well as the southeast. So we're looking now at wards 2 and 3 and moving in the rotation. So thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Next, we have mayoral appointments. MC-DAC McDack Board, Robert Starcher for a term expiring 12/31/15.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Notices, communications, and petitions. We have 2. Liquor permit not to object to the issuance of a new D2 permit to Fred W. Albrecht Grocery Company doing business as Acme Fresh Market, northwest corner of High Point Drive and State Route 3.
Move not to object.
Second.
Discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
And another liquor permit to not to object to the issuance of a new D5 permit to Mark Claus LLC, doing business as Castle Noel at 254-260 South Court Street.
Move not to object.
Second.
Discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson. Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Unfinished business, we have none. Introduction of visitors. Members of the public will be permitted the opportunity to speak on any issue or concern which pertains to the city during the portion of council agenda devoted to introduction of visitors. All comments shall be directed to the chair, and a reasonable time limit of approximately 5 minutes will be imposed. If there is a group, please appoint a spokesperson. Speakers should approach the front right microphone and state their name and address so it can be entered into the minutes. Members of the public will be afforded the opportunity to comment on other portions of the meeting as determined by the chair or by a vote of the majority of council members present. Is there anybody that wishes to address council at this time? Introduction and consideration of ordinances and resolutions. The first one is Resolution 19814, a resolution commending Murray and Sue Van Ept for their donation to fund a new fountain in Bicentennial Commons.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Colzar?
I just want to take a moment to thank the Van Epp family. Like others that have said, it's a crucial part of the Bicentennial Park. This carries on a legacy that your family has helped our community since the Civil War, really, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to read a resolution. After we adopt the resolution, I'm asking Van Epps to come forward to present them with the resolution. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Simpson.
I'd also like to thank Murray and Sue. As I mentioned to you before the meeting, this project that with your help is going to go forward, and I'm sure will be enjoyed for generations to come and will be such an asset to our historical district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other further comments?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Shields?
I know we're thanking you tonight for the fountain, but I also wanted to thank you for the Firehouse Museum, because that, as a committee that I sit on, we were trying to figure out how to take care of that floor, and you really came through for us there, and it made such a difference. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Resolution 198-14 passes 7-0.
If I can have the Van Epps come up front, I'll present you with the resolution. You both want to come up?
Oh, that's not my wife.
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't know that. Of course,
Sounded like a joke, didn't it? That's not my wife.
It did sound like a joke. We just adopted a resolution. I just want to read the body of the text. It says, whereas the Van Epp family has established a Van Epp Family Fund to gift funding to charities and organizations they deem important. And whereas Murray and Sue Van Epp have graciously donated $28,000 to the city of Medina to purchase and install a fountain at the newly named Bicentennial Commons public restroom facility on Public Square. And whereas Murray and Sue Van Epp have graciously donated $2,000 toward the flooring of the Firehouse Museum. And now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Medina, Ohio, that City Council, by resolution, recognize, commend, and express their sincere thanks and appreciation to the Murray and Sue Van Epp for these recent donations, that a signed copy of this resolution shall be presented to Murray and Sue Van Epp in appreciation of their valued services in the public interest of the City of Medina, Ohio, that this resolution shall be in full force and effect at the earliest period allowed by law. I thank you for all your efforts, and I think that, I think you said everything, so I don't want to say anything else. But here is a resolution that you can have, and hopefully, chairs, we really do appreciate your donations.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 199-14, a resolution commending Gary Rumley for his dedicated years of service to the City of Medina.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Colzar.
I just want to take a moment on behalf of Ward 3, Gary. I know you have been top-notch through your tenure here with the city, or working here with the city. And since I've been on my tenure 10 years ago, 2004, I've dealt with you ever since I started. Nothing but positive things from you. I know you worked hard to get everything done, and I know, especially myself, have asked for extras to get done, even though you already had a list of projects already, and you eventually got to them. And you know, I greatly appreciate all your hard work, your commitment to this city, and a gentleman like you keeps this city running. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Mr. Simpson?
Gary, I want to puppet what Mark just said. Your dedication to the city has just been outstanding. In my tenure on council, several times we know that we've taken you away from your family, and your dedication has just been phenomenal. And on a personal note, I'm glad you stuck around till Nino got his feet underneath him, and now I think he's going to be okay since you're leaving. But no, in all seriousness, thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Resolution 199-14 passes 7-0.
Gary, can I ask you to come up one more time? Thank you, and I want to read to you the body of the text of the resolution that council just passed. Whereas Gary Rumley has been employed by the City of Medina Sanitation and Street Department since 1986, and whereas Gary Rumley has faithfully and conscientiously served the city as the street superintendent since 2010, working endless days and often through the nights clearing streets of snow in the winter, and working on the street and traffic signal repairs to ensure that the safety of the citizens of Medina at all other times. And now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Medina, Ohio, that Medina City Council hereby commends Gary Rumley for his years of dedicated public service to the City of Medina, that Medina City Council hereby extends its sincere thanks and appreciation to Gary Rumley for his commitment to the city and the community, and wishes him good health, success, and prosperity in his retirement, that a signed copy of this resolution shall be presented to Gary Rumley in recognition of his dedicated service to the city, that this resolution shall be in full force and effect at the earliest period allowed by law. Again, thank you for all your service. And I guess the one thing I think you're going to miss is the budget meetings, but you can always come back.
Well, you're going to authorize my budget, so that's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, you can come back next year just to make sure we're keeping on track, because you never know about Mr. Picoli. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Ordinance 200-14, an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Medina, Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2015.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion? Mr. Durham?
Well, as it says in the title, this is our budget for 2015. Of course, we started working on this back in February, I think, and in another few weeks, we'll start working on 2016.
Yes, that's a lot of fun with that. Is there any other further comments or discussion? I guess I would like to add that going through this budget and the next budget for the 5-year budget plan, we realize that some issues have occurred at the state of Ohio that has limited some of the state funds that come to the local municipalities and kind of impacted us about $1 million a year in the general fund. We did make some cuts. We did make some allocations later on in this or in the council agenda to the allocation of the income tax dollars to try to stave off some problems that may occur, and I think we're doing fine with that. And as we keep watching these budgets as the years go by, and hopefully the state will not continue to cut some of the funds that come to the income tax allocation to our general fund, that we won't have to make any more drastic cuts, but we are trying to maintain the level of city services that we provide to our residents within the dollars that we are receiving, both from income tax dollars in the state of Ohio and the other funds that we get from throughout the county. With that said, is there any other discussion on the budget for the 2015 fiscal year? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields. Simpson.
Yes.
Ordinance 200-14 passes 7-0.
Resolution 201-14, a resolution adopting a 5-year budget for the city of Medina, Ohio for the period beginning January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2019.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Durham?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the second part of the budget process. The first part we did with the last ordinance is the actual budget for 2015. That's required by state law. What we're adopting here is the 5-year budget that we do here at the City of Medina. That's not required by state law. That's something we do to help us plan and help us, as we always talk about here, try to see problems farther away where you can more easily address them. And that's what you alluded to with the last ordinance, is the issues that the state funding cuts are causing for us, and we're dealing with those.
Yes, thank you. And I'd like to thank all the administration for the hard work they put into these budgets because, you know, we do try to hold the line, and the mayor does a great job doing that also. And the department heads do also a fantastic job in projecting their budgets for future years. Without doing this process, I think it would be difficult for council to understand a long-term view of the city dollars, since we are only part-time members serving the public. This is a great aid to assist us in making sure that the dollars that we appropriate for the administration to spend and serve the public, we get a handle on those so that continues for years to come. Is there any further discussion or comment on the resolution? Clerk, please call the roll.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Resolution 201-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 202-14, ordinance amending ordinance number 164-14, passed October 14th, 2014, pertaining to the expenditure to Zashin and Rich Company, LPA, for the Law Department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Huber?
Thank you, Mr. President. This request increased the amount to fund the PO for Attorney John DeLino and his Zashin and Rich law firm from $33,000 to $40,000. This year is the year where the City of Medina negotiated the union contracts with the Police Patrol Union, the Police Sergeants Union, the Police Dispatchers Union, and finally the Teamsters. And this last part of the PO increase has to do with his concluding the negotiations with the Teamsters.
Thank you. Any further discussion or comment? Clerk, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Ordinance 202-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 203-14, an ordinance authorizing the expenditure of $57,902.56 to the Medina County Commissioners for reimbursement to the Bond Reserve Fund for the Medina County Port Authority Fiber Network.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Durham?
Thank you, Mr. President. Back in 2010, we agreed to help support this project, and this is a payment that's due per that agreement.
Thank you. Any further comments? Clerk, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Ordinance 203-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 204-14, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of three 2015 Ford Utility Police Interceptors from Statewide Ford for the Police Department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Chief Baraducci?
Thank you, Mr. President. These three vehicles will be our replacement vehicles in 2015. We're just accelerating the purchase to use 2014 funds.
Thank you. Any further discussion or comment? Clerk, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Ordinance 204-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 205-14, an ordinance repealing sections 137104 and 137105 of Chapter 13 of the Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Medina, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Mendel?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This ordinance is to remove duplicative fence code regulation sections out of the building code, which were when the zoning code update was took effect in July of this year. The fence code regulations were moved into the zoning code outside of the from the building code. So this is just removing the duplicative fence regulations in the building code to remove any confusion. Thank you.
Thank you. That was clear. Any other discussion or comments? Will clerk please call the roll on your ordinance?
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson. Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Ordinance 205-14 passes 7-0.
Resolution 206-14, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into agreements with the Medina County Commissioners and the Medina County Public Defender Commission so as to provide legal counsel to indigent persons charged with a violation of the city ordinances.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields?
the emergency clause has been requested. I move to add it at this time.
My second includes the emergency clause.
Discussion on the emergency clause and the resolution. Mr. Huber?
Thank you, Mr. President. Every year, the city is required to enter into an agreement with the Public Defender's Office pursuant to state law. The agreement needs to be in place by January 1st, and given that this is the last meeting, we've requested that the emergency clause be used.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the emergency clause and or the resolution? Clerk, please call the roll on the emergency clause.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call the roll on the resolution.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Resolution 206-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 207-14, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a revocable use permit with Foundry Holdings LLC for the use of the parking lot located at 563 Bronson Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Patton?
Thank you, Mr. President. While reviewing the plans for an upcoming project, a private project on Bronson Street, it was determined that a portion of their parking lot is within existing city right-of-way. Now, this condition has been around for decades. This ordinance allows them to maintain their parking as is, nothing changes, but we're issuing a revocable use permit just to acknowledge that that is part of the right-of-way.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Ordinance 207-14 passes 7-0.
Resolution 208-14, a resolution donating a 2000 Pierce Pumper fire truck to the Medina County Career Center Fire Training Program.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Painter, Chief Painter.
Thank you, Mr. President. This was the pumper we spoke about during budget hearings, had the frame and subframe rust issues. It's not roadworthy as an emergency vehicle at this point. We recommend donating to the Fire Training Academy because the pump is in serviceable condition and it doesn't leave their property out there, and they get several more years of use out of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll on the resolution.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Resolution 208-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 209-14, ordinance amending section 3102E of the Salaries and Benefits Code of the City of Medina, Ohio, relative to the salary schedule for part-time employees of the Medina Community Recreation Center affected by the Ohio minimum wage increase.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields?
the emergency clause has been requested. I move to add it this time.
My second includes the emergency clause.
Discussion on the emergency clause and the ordinance. Mr. Wright?
Thank you, Mr. President. This request was to adjust our part-time pay scale to reflect the minimum wage increase to $8.10 on January 1st, 2015. The emergency clause has been requested, so the pay scale is in effect by the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the emergency clause and or the ordinance?
Mr. President.
Mr. Colzar.
I will be abstaining from this vote because my mother is actually a part-time employee at the rec center. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll on the emergency clause.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Abstain.
Lamb.
Yes.
Motion passes 6 yeas, 1 abstention.
Clerk, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Abstain.
Ordinance 209-14 passes 6 yeas, 1 abstention.
Ordinance 210-14, ordinance amending ordinance number 208-13, passed December 9, 2013, amendments to the 2014 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are, as you can see, a slew of budget amendments this time, this being the last meeting of the year. I won't go through each of them individually, but grants, the proceeds from the auction, and then the advances for the airport are the main ones.
Thank you. Any further other discussion on the ordinance? Clerk, please call the roll.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Ordinance 210-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 211-14, ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a right-of-way purchase agreement with MCJ Enterprise is for 750 West Smith Road, parcel number 8, for the West Smith Road reconstruction project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields?
the emergency clause has been requested. I move that it be added at this time.
My second includes the emergency clause.
Discussion on the emergency clause and the ordinance. Mr. Patton.
Thank you. This is another parcel that the city needs to acquire in order to construct the West Smith Road reconstruction project. We are asking for the emergency clause as we do have a signed contract with the property owner. I'd like to finalize that, pay it, and get it the property transferred as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other further discussion on the emergency clause and or the ordinance? Clerk, please call the roll on the emergency clause.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Ordinance 211-14 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 212-14, ordinance authorizing the finance director to make certain fund advances.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an advance. We do this from time to time. It's where we borrow money from one fund to from another, and this one is with the airport fund.
Thank you. Any other comments or discussion? Clerk, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Ordinance 212-14 passes 7-0.
We have one item to be added to the agenda. That's ordinance number 213-14.
Move to add the ordinance 213-14.
Second.
Discussion. Clerk, please call the roll on adding ordinance 213-14.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Ordinance 213-14, ordinance repealing ordinance number 142-14, passed September 8th, 2014, and replacing section 161 of the codified ordinances of the city of Medina, Ohio, by adding a new section 161.33 relative to the allocation of income tax funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. The net changes here, we have a 0.5% increase in the fire capital fund. It was determined during the budget process that 1% annually was not sufficient to replace the apparatus of the fire department. There's a 2.5% increase in the allocation to general fund. which is a part of our response to the cuts that you alluded to earlier that we've seen in our state funding. There's a 2.5% reduction in the allocation to the General Purpose Capital Fund, and there's a 0.5% reduction to the Medina Community Recreation Center Fund, which is a reflection of the fact that we have saved a significant amount of money annually in our debt service payments out of that fund. We're able to use those savings to reduce that contribution of the income tax.
Thank you, and we appreciate Mr. Wright's willingness to give up 0.5% of his income tax to help the city as a whole.
He wasn't at the meeting.
Well, we didn't have to say that, but we appreciate that in any event. Is there any other discussion on the ordinance? Will the clerk please call the roll on the ordinance?
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Ordinance 213-14 passes 7-0.
Are there any council comments for the last time this year?
Mr. President?
Mr. Colzar.
I'll be brief. Just want to take a moment here. We've got another year under our belt. Take a moment to thank council and the administration for all your hard work to keep this city moving forward. I mean, we all have a passion for it, so I just want to thank everybody for all their hard work. And lastly, happy holidays to the community and Merry Christmas. Thanks.
Thank you. Any additional council comments?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Rose.
Thank you. First, I would like to tie on to with what Mark was saying, with a lot of people working together. The Van Epps family is a family that has demonstrated that they do have a commitment to the community, and I want to thank them, along with everybody for the city, for your contributions to help us put together a legacy for the city. Also, I would like to put a note out to Chief Baraducci and his forward-looking. I know it's a tragic set of circumstances that has brought me to say this, but Chief Baraducci 2 years ago came to us and asked us if we would allow him to put body cams on his police officers. And now cities like Los Angeles, St. Louis, New York City is looking at this police chief and following his lead on putting the body cams out there. Again, it's an unfortunate set of circumstances, but hats off to you, sir. Thank you for your forward looking. I appreciate it. This past week I had the privilege of being a ding-a-ling at Bueller's foyer, ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. Thank you to the community for coming through. There were many, many, many people who dropped off anywhere from a penny to, I don't know, Lord only knows how much was in the one wad. But it shows that the people in this town here really do care about what others need. There is a need out there for people, and the Salvation Army fills that need. Places like Bueller's allow the Salvation Army to go out and collect that money and allow volunteers to ring the bell. There's other stores in town here who don't. Just keep that in mind when you go to spend your money and when you're making the decisions. Which stores allow them, which stores don't. Consider that. Thank you. And lastly, I'd like to wish everyone in the administration, council, and the city a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and see you next year.
Thank you. Any other additional council comments?
Mr. President?
Mr. Lamb?
You know, civic engagement and civic involvement and civic participation are an absolute key to maintaining a real sense of community. And so, Murray and your family, I want to thank you for all you've done, and because that kind of participation has real rewards. Not just for you and your family and for the few people that might know about it, but for people we don't even know yet. 20 or 30 years from now, and it's such a wonderful thing that the Bicentennial Park and the fountain, that you generously donated, and the funding for it all came together, into one project that will for years to come be such a wonderful addition to the historic district. To say nothing of the new floor in the firehouse. So you really appreciate what you've done. It is a key to any community to have that kind of participation and that level of participation. So thank you. And I also want to thank the mayor and his administration, mayor in particular, for his engagement with me and positive engagement with me on the housing issue. And I'm looking forward to working on that and in the new year. And I intend to work hard, without legislation, both with the mayor and the administration, as well as with the Neighborhoods by Design, so that we can see real improvement. I think it goes without saying that once you have a community that's built out, We aren't going to be building anything new here, new housing here, and it's more, all that much more important that we work to improve and maintain the housing that we have in the city now. And lastly, I want to say, Nino, I came back from Columbus the other night, and it was late, but I drove through the square anyway just to take a look at the lights. And when I drove through, I thought how much work that has to be, not only to put it all up, but to keep it all on. And what a blessing it is in the community that we have people that work as hard as you, the rest of the people in the administration, folks like Gary Rumley, who spent 28 years here, and everybody else that works for the city that participates and also really keeps that sense of community and participation and dedication that we've all come to know and appreciate. So Merry Christmas to everybody, and I'll see you in January.
Thank you. Any other additional council comments? Well, I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. Next year is another year, and we're looking forward to it, and we can't wait to start budgeting again, Keith, so sharpen your pencils. And department heads, I wish you all a happy holiday season. Nothing else, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.